Good evening, everyone. And now, episode 9 of Joe and Matty talking New York sports. We got a big day for two of our sports, not too much in hockey or basketball, but that's all right because love talking baseball and got a lot of football today. So we'll let you
My
know
favorite.
about it. Yeah.
Football is my favorite, Manny. We'll get right into it. I can't wait to get going here. Um, how are things with you, Manny? How was your weekend?
It was driver's ed online, which is really boring, but got to do it.
Driver's ed. That's exciting. I couldn't be more excited to get your driver's license than you. Down there in North Carolina, was it your first lesson? Farm equipment?
It was a lot of about just a lot of about safety, which is
I hope
understandable, but
so.
that's
Yeah.
it's what majority about it, but that's okay because
It is what it is. But it was a cool weekend in baseball. Started by Thursday night. Um, I don't know if you're even into the movie. The movie, I think it was before you were. It was certainly before you were born. Have you watched the movie before you watched Thursday night's game?
Field of Dreams I don't remember
Okay.
much of it, but I have seen it.
So,
But
what was your impression as someone who doesn't know the movie? What did you think of the way it looked on TV?
I thought it was really cool. I thought it was like the way they had the scoreboard, and I think that was good for baseball. And those events like that help their watch rates and brings people together to watch it because it's cool. Like it's different. And even with how lopsided the London series was, I still think it brought people's attention to baseball, which they need that because we've said many
I
times in
agree.
earlier podcasts, it's a very local sport, and to change that, they need to do stuff like this. And
Well, you could see the Hall of Fame game preseason got better ratings than the Field of Dreams game. However, I thought that Major League Baseball did a great job with the Dreams game. I thought the field was beautiful.
mhm.
They couldn't have got better weather. Obviously, as a Yankee fan, the way it ended sucked. But the game itself, like the drama, Judge hitting 2 home runs, Stanton hitting the go-ahead home run in the ninth, White Sox coming back. I mean, you can't ask for better baseball. They got everything they wanted from the weather to the only thing that bothered me was Kevin Costner talking on the broadcast way too much. I could care less what an actor has to say about baseball. I
Well, because
get it.
they don't know what they're
Yeah, I
talking.
get it. He's the star, and you should have him included, and you should, having him in center field was a little cheesy, but obviously the players were into it. I don't want to be cynical about that, but I don't need him talking for over an inning in there. Like it was nice when it was just them talking about baseball. It felt like a game that surpassed that regional thing we had. I liked it a
Yeah.
lot. Biggest thing: Yankees take 2 out of 3 against the first place White Sox team.
Yep.
They're still moving with so many crazy moving parts,
Hmm.
especially the pitching staff. The bullpen looks atrocious. I cannot believe Britton asked out. I mean, this is a seasoned veteran asked out of the closer's role, but after giving up the gopher ball that he gave up, I get it. You
He
have some great
sucks.
performances like yesterday. Starting pitcher performance was incredible from someone who's a journeyman, dropping down, throwing sidearm, throwing over the top, he's throwing 90, and guys are confused by. I don't know what exactly he's doing with his delivery, but most importantly, that was a huge series win for the Yankees. You get the Angels tonight. Um,
This is one tonight you
you,
have
you
to win. You
you
need
need to beat
Cole
the
to
Angels.
turn the dial. This is the time to forget about all the crap that's gone on earlier in the season. Everyone talking about you cheating because we know you cheated, but turn the page, start fresh, and we need like 7 strong innings. I don't care, like if you walk a ton of guys, you give up 1 or 2 runs, just have a solid performance.
I
Like in
honestly
this,
think you go have between 7 and 8 innings and give up 3 runs should be easy enough to get a win for the Yankees against the Angels pitching. If they lose this game, it's a throwaway, and we've seen the Yankees throw away a lot of games this year. But on the positive side, you see Gallo hitting home runs now again. If this lineup, when it gets back to everybody together in there, and you go righty lefty with power hitters, their offense is going to be loaded. Way too many strikeouts still, but it seems like Judge.
reining
You
it in.
you you sent me a text. I don't know if it was Friday night or when that was, but about how his lack of clutch hitting. And No, it had to be before the White Sox
It,
game.
wa- it was
Field-
it
yeah,
was definitely
it was
before. It
right
was definitely
before the
before.
White Sox Field of Dreams game, and then he hits 2 home runs. He hits another big home run last night. When he's leading the team just seems more comfortable and in a better place. I like Garrett Cole talking up for the team. You know, you get Gary Sanchez back soon. You got Montgomery, who's pitched great. I know you don't like Montgomery, but he's pitched great.
I'm okay with him. He's not consistent. That's
Oh, he's pretty consistent. It's consistent. Team not scoring for him.
Well, I want to bring up two things with baseball, some controversial things, and I do want to share that stat that I sent you while watching a YouTube video. And credit goes out to Dan O'Rourke or Dan Rourke, Dan Allen Rourke. He his YouTube
Do your
channel.
best. Give the name right.
Yeah, his YouTube channel is Yankees Avenue. It's very popular. I love it. He does a lot of recaps and does it every single game's highlights he posts. But he gave Aaron Judge's 2021 stats by leverage situations. So in low leverage situations, he has 186 plate appearances. He has a 294 batting average. Forget what that. I'm just gonna skip those two stats. Two batting average, 16 home runs. In medium leverage situations, 149 plate appearances, 281 with 7 homers. In a high leverage situation, which I guarantee is probably runner in scoring position, tie game.
I
game
think it's
score,
usually 7th inning on, close game.
Yeah, he's batting 233 with 0 homers. That was what I said right before. Now, the 233 is not terrible because you look at some of the people who hit with runners in scoring position, and it's a sub 200.
Plus, a guy like Judge, who people usually pitch around in those scenarios. Granted, not many teams have an MVP in
Exactly. That's it. That's a great point because you look at the low leverage scenarios, he has 186 plate appearances to medium leverage scenarios where he has 149. They don't give it for the high leverage scenarios, but I guarantee it'd be less. So he does have less plate appearances, but you look at, a high leverage scenario, they're down by 3 Thursday against the White Sox and he hits a bomb. And I guess that's high leverage, but it's not like he can tie the game. So I'd give that medium leverage.
I don't know how they judge high, medium leverage. To me, if you're trailing in the game and you need a run, that's when it's important. When you've got a lead and you're just hitting pylon home runs, it's not that important. Then again, this is where stats are misleading. Last night, Voigt's home run, he made the home run to in the 9th inning, correct? To take the lead.
2-run shot, yep.
Why that might not be high leverage because they had the lead going into the 9th with the status of the Yankees bullpen. That was a huge. The game would have went to extras if he doesn't do it.
I cannot remember the last time the Yankees have had this season.
It hasn't happened in your lifetime.
1-2-3 9th inning while going for the save, or with a lead. I cannot remember the last time that has happened. It hasn't been at least before the All-Star break, and at least since Aroldis Chapman hit the bad slump.
In your lifetime, you've never had to deal with the Yankees going to their closer with the lead and having any stress. You had Mariano Rivera, who is the most solid person ever in baseball. Chapman, who I don't feel 100% confident about, but if you look compared to across the league, his stats are terrific. And, he has delivered, but it's holy Christmas. Like last night you get into that game, you got a 4-run lead and you're like, nervous. Who the hell's going to pitch? And the walks and just terrible, just Licky, throw it over the plate. Let them hit the ball at least.
They don't, and this is where I'm going to put one of those issues on Boone. He doesn't bring in the right guys. I don't care if Chapman pitched 2 days in a row.
But you can't pitch again. That's how you wreck guys' arms. That's how you get injured.
Yeah.
And they're dealing with a lot of injuries. They've been lucky where guys have been coming up for the minor leagues and really doing their job. They
need badly. They need Gary Sanchez to go back on a hot streak, and they need him healthy.
I don't even think it's the offense. I think you need Chad Green to come back and be on a hot streak.
No one in their bullpen's good besides Nestor Cortez, who's not even in the bullpen anymore.
That guy's deserves to be a starter the way he's pitched. He's kind of pulling an old El Duque thing, like just reinventing himself on the fly. I love listening to David Cohn talk about him, and when he drops down sidearm, the excitement of like
The quick
just
delivery.
yeah,
He does those like where he'll stall his
and
right
he
leg.
really shows you what happens, like all the different elements of pitching. If you get a guy like Garrett Cole throws 100 miles an hour and crazy breaking stuff, adds in what this guy's doing, the deception that you could have to just keep people completely off balance. And that's something that, you get a lot more with veterans. But the Yankees, you got to be happy with the way they've survived this COVID streak. They're running into Boston at a time where Boston stinks. Boston got Chris Sale back. Big win for them.
Don't care.
I don't
think
either. I think they're on their way down. I think the Rays obviously are not. I don't think
going anywhere.
I don't think the Yankees are going to catch them, but the Yankees need to put their foot on the Red Sox neck, and I honestly
pull up the standings.
You want to go in and sweep the series, and just get them in the rearview mirror and put the pressure is so much greater for them once they slip behind. I just don't think they're the same team that they were over exceeding expectations.
I've been wrong about so many things this year, whether it was like the Yankees selling at the deadline, whatever it was, all the things.
Speaking of that, Matty, as we sit here today and we remember our early season prognostications, I believe someone said not to worry. This guy. I also said someone who would say the Mets would collapse and the Phillies and Braves would be in first place by the end of this year. I don't know how it would happen. That's happening. Not too shabby,
Injuries, yeah. But
so baseball's a long season. They really level the playing ground.
Yeah, I mean, the Red Sox a couple weeks ago, they had like a 4-game lead on the Rays, and now it's slipping up. Also, the Rays, I'm tired of this because the Rays aren't playing anyone good right now. They will, but they are not playing anyone good. It's not impressive to me when you come back from a 5-run deficit against the Orioles. Anyone can do that. Like,
did you feel
impressive?
Do you feel like this year that it's like the haves and the have-nots? It's never been different. Like normally, all right, the Orioles have been the laughing stock of the league for a while, but there are just some really atrocious teams in the league this year. That teams are just pounding, and like you have a good idea going in who's going to win the game. It's rare that you can't. There's not a lot.
That's what the Yankees have to do. You got to start beating these teams, and now to go in till Sunday. Now they have a game against. The Angels, and then they have a doubleheader tomorrow, which is a 3-game Sox. Then you have 4 against the Twins. I mean, you really have to realistically think that the Yankees could literally sweep all of those games. That is very possible.
I mean, it is baseball. Someone's going to go out there and throw a dud and get rocked, and it's going to be hard. But if you should win, what do you got? 4 games between Angels and Red Sox, and then 4 Twins games. So out of those 8, you're hoping at worst
7.
Yeah. I mean, I'm being realistic. 6 out of 8, but 7 out of 8 should be the goal.
I mean, the Twins are terrible. The Red
Twins
Sox
are imploding. The Angels just avoid Ohtani. That's it. Just stay away from him. Don't pitch to him. Put him on first base.
Well, I want to bring up a stat about that, and everyone's talking about greatest player ever, whatever. No one's talking about how he has not been that good in the second half. I mean, the numbers are not this.
For what?
They're chopped in half. He was hitting homers like a homer or 2 every 2 games. I don't think he's hit a homer in like 6 games. Like this guy is no enough of it. He's not a good pitcher. He is not a good pitcher. He's terrible.
He's not. You're crazy.
He's another one of those great examples of he found his way to Spider Tack in 2020 or 2021, and he had some fun with it, throwing sub-3 ERA. And ever since it's happened, now he's gone barely under a 4. He pitched terrible against the Yankees. Oh, high leverage scenarios, guys should be great. Comes to Yankee Stadium, I think he got an out.
You're being absolutely ridiculous right now.
Tanaka all over again, except without hitting.
He's on pace to deliver like a 40 home run season with 20 steals, have 100 plus strikeouts, and a sub-3 ERA.
I'll be impressed when he does it again.
come on, you're crazy. You
Judge
forget he's
hit-
pitching and hitting. Screw Judge.
Judge hit 52 home runs. He hasn't hit 40.
Judge, he is outperforming Judge this season in the hitting. He's got more home runs, more steals, and I know about his batting average, but at most
Batting average, Judge is ahead, but almost all of the other stats.
Yeah. So he's out hitting Judge. On the pitcher's mound, he's would be probably the number 2 guy in the Yankees rotation right now. There's no one else in the league doing both. Like, that is what is so impressive. You can't get caught up in, is he Mike Trout just as the hitter, or is he is all-star at 2 positions at the same time for 1 salary. You cannot replace that. Like, you
another example of what
your lifetime. You can't think of anyone.
I'm not a fan of it. I'm not really a fan of it.
You're just jealous. That's 100%.
I'm not jealous. Sure, he would destroy Yankee Stadium, but
how could you not be a fan of it? If he was a Yankee, you would be losing your mind.
We went through this though. It's just
we never went through a guy hitting at an all-star level and pitching at an all-star as one human. We've got half of that and got excited. You're talking about Gary Sanchez. Who is Ohtani's out hitting everyone on the Yankees? Every single player. Who is pitching better than Ohtani?
Well, Cole is
100%
blowing him away in strikeouts and ERA.
Blowing away is a huge leap. I haven't
Garrett
looked at
Cole has 200 strikeouts. I don't even think Ohtani has 100.
But I don't care about strikeouts. What's his ERA on a bad team?
Cole has a 3 ERA.
What is Ohtani? Please. What is Ohtani's ERA, please?
It will not be better than Cole's. I'll walk out of the room if it is.
Excuse me?
That can't be right. That cannot be right.
Hey, you're living in a delusional universe. We're seeing one of the best seasons ever in baseball.
293. Okay, let's go through the stats. I'm gonna pull up both their stats.
You're living in a delusional universe if you can't appreciate the fact that he is one of the best pitchers in the American League. He's not a national.
I didn't say he was. I just said I'm not a fan of him. That's all I said.
You don't have to be a fan of him, but you have to appreciate this is one of the best seasons we've ever seen.
But can I shift gears to the pitching side of things? I want to show you.
Yeah,
this,
but
okay?
if you just
but this is incredible though.
One thing. How hard is it to get just the pitcher that pitches sub 3 RA? That's going to cost you $25 million a year. How hard is it to get a leading home run guy in the league who also steals bases, who also has a cannon for an arm in the outfield and can run?
Could do that if they're using spider tack. Anyone could use that if you're cheating.
You're being highly unrealistic, and you're not being fair at all. Am I a fan of Ohtani because he didn't pick the Yankees? No, but you're being crazy.
That's not what. I'll listen to these stats. You won't think I'm crazy. His career stats. This includes.
Not talking about career. We're talking about this year.
Well, I'm gonna give you a comparison.
Just this year.
He's played 2 years. Well, here's his 2021 stats. He's 7-1 with a 2.93 ERA, 17 games started, 92 innings, 112 strikeouts, 1.09 WHIP. So he's played what? So that was 17 games started. So in the 12 other games started, which he is 11-4. Or wait, no. In his career, he's 11-4.
I don't care about his record because record is a symbol in baseball of your team. If they don't score for you, look at Jordan Montgomery. They haven't scored for him all year round. Like, his record would be way better. So pitching, for me, it's innings and ERA.
Look at the jump. Look at the jump in these 4 stats. So the ERA this year is 2.93. In his career, it's 3.47. And
so it went down.
This year, 92 innings pitched, 143 and 145 and a third. Strikeouts this year, 112. In his career, 178. That's only 12 more starts. And then the WHIP goes from 1.09 this year to 1.18. Those are, and I guarantee if I pull up the spin rate right now, it's going to be 300 RPMs up. Then
I don't care about his spin rate. I don't care about his thing. He is pitching to a sub-3 RA on a bad team. He once every 5 games, he gives them quality starts every single time. When he's in the field, he plays at an all-star level. He's leading the league in home runs. He's stealing bases, and he plays incredible defense. You would take him just as an outfielder, or you would take him just as a pitcher. He's giving it to you both. He's giving you all-star pitcher in one salary.
We have the pitching. We have the guys on each side.
Makes $30 million a year. This guy should be making $50 million a year.
Well,
you can't.
We have the pitching. We have pitchers that are better than him.
Kluber
is a better pitcher than Shohei Ohtani is.
Kluber's pitched 2 starts in 3 years. You're the GM.
3 years ago, he was the best pitcher in all of baseball.
You know what 3 years ago does for me now? Friggin' zero. If I'm the GM and I sign Kluber or Ohtani, if you sign Kluber, you're a moron. Don't even
with what the Yankees have now. I would take Kluber.
Now, you're insane.
Career stats wise,
you had to take either pitcher, either player. You're going to take Ohtani, or you're going to take.
If I'm taking pitching ability,
you're the quickest fired GM in the history of baseball because you're being you're giving up.
Kluber's career stats are phenomenal.
I don't know. Who gives a crap what his career stats are. It's what are you going to give to me today?
He's a vet, and he focuses on pitching.
What is he given to? He's given you 1 win this year, and you've paid him $10 million.
No way that is true.
He pitched the no-hitter.
A no-hitter, yeah. He pitched a no-hitter.
Great.
Ohtani.
1 game he's given you. And then Ohtani's giving you all-stars at 2 positions. Are you drinking over there? You got to be out of your mind. There's not even a comparison. Ohtani is he's
no excuse.
He's the best player in baseball right now. There's not even a question. We don't get to see him on a daily basis. The guy is the best player in baseball. He's playing 2 positions at a premier level. Is he the best outfielder in baseball? No, probably the guy on his own team is. Is he a top 5 player this year in his outfield? Yes. Is he in the running for Cy Young in the American League?
No.
Yes. You're drunk.
Cy Young. If I'm giving the Cy Young in the American League, it's Carlos Rodon from the White Sox or Lance Lynn.
No, not gonna make it. You know, Lance Lynn's gonna break down. But you know what is those pitchers giving you at the plate this year?
But
what is Garrett Cole giving you at the plate?
But here's the thing.
Why
you're Shohei Ohtani was terrible 2 years ago, and no one said anything. So all of a sudden he's good now. I don't believe in this Lucas Giolito crap, where they can just turn it on a new gear.
We don't care what happened 2 years ago. We care how they're performing now. It makes no difference whatsoever what your history is. If you're a 10-year veteran and you've proven you don't get hurt, then I care about your history. But I don't really care about Shohei Ohtani's history when he is every baseball expert you see is going, I've never seen a season like this. You've never had a hitter who's an all-star also be an all-star pitcher. Since maybe Babe Ruth. I don't know if that stat is correct, but I think it's since Babe Ruth. That's saying something in baseball. Garrett Cole, if he had to hit and play in the outfield, would be hitting 0-10. He would be terrible. So stop being crazy. Just give in to the fact that he's the best player in baseball this year. Do we know how he's going to be 3 years from now? No, but if you're a GM, there is no other player you would take for his salary. You're getting 2 all-star starters for the price of 1.
He is.
All right, we got to move on. We lingered on this too much. We said we'd get into football. We're going to move on from the Yankees. We're going to
final remark, I would take Vlad Guerrero Jr. over him.
And you would be fired as a GM.
The guy's leading in 2 of the 3 Triple Crown.
The other guy's leading in Cy Young and potentially leading the league in home runs.
Cy Young, you have to have like a sub 2. If you're gonna win the Cy Young, look at guys who actually won Cy Young. Jacob deGrom is
how many wins did Jacob Grom?
That's it. But you just said wins doesn't count,
Yeah,
though.
I don't care, but that's why your argument is insane. I feel like I'm gonna have to take you to the doctor and just realize you're completely neglecting that the guy's playing two positions.
But here's the thing
No
you have
other
to
pitcher
realize.
in baseball is providing any offense to his team.
Here's the
Not
thing you have to realize.
one.
I'll
Except maybe Syndergaard, who hit a couple home. Not Syndergaard. What's his?
Bumgardner,
No, the best pitcher before he got hurt. The best pitcher in baseball.
deGrom.
deGrom was
Dude,
hitting
deGrom.
more RBIs.
Honestly, that's the real question. Would you take deGrom over Ohtani? Because deGrom's batting average is like 340.
Yeah, but he plays in the National League and they don't hit him, and they're not going to. There's nothing like we've seen with Ohtani. There's no guy who plays offense and pitches.
I'll tell you that
Nobody
he's the best
close.
player if he does it for another year. Because Babe Ruth did it for years. This guy's doing it for
get your
one
job
season.
with the New York Post for the crap that you're spewing.
Look at it's another example of look at what Odell Beckham Jr. did in his first year, and then he was terrible after the next couple years. Look at it's all these guys. Judge was incredible.
Completely different sport. In baseball, it's batter versus pitcher. He is doing both. When he's a hitter, huge success. When he's a pitcher, huge success. If you give me if he was pitching to a 3.5 ERA and he was middle of the road starter, a fourth or fifth starter, and he was still hitting at the level he was, he's still the most important person in baseball. There's not even he's giving you two all-stars for the price of one. I just don't understand how you can't see that.
Okay, today he's leading off DH. He's has 108 hits and 398 at bats, 86 RBIs, 39 homers, 17 stolen base, and batting .271.
Yeah, on a team where no one else is any other hitter because Mike Trout's out.
Full season.
Imagine his numbers if Trout was hitting behind him and they were scared to pitch to him, or they had to pitch. All right, we got
the Angels have no pitching, so they wouldn't be good anyways.
We're going to chalk this up as you're 100% wrong because you're a delusional Yankee fan.
Just wait 2 years from now. He won't be in MLB.
Believe me, I hope he's not good 2 years from now because he's on the Angels. But I'm not going to be a fool.
They're not a threat.
I'm not going to be a fool and not say that the guy's not the best player in baseball this year.
He's not, but he's good. He's not. He's top 5, not best player in baseball.
We'll agree to disagree because you're crazy. Let's move on to football as we wasted a lot of time there on baseball. We're going to start getting into predictions. We're going to start talking about what the difference is. Let's start with our favorite division in all of football. Let's start with the NFC East.
NFC least. Not this year, maybe. Not this year.
Don't ever say those terrible words.
They only have 3 teams in them. The Giants are the best, but they only have three.
I know it's biased, but we need to get through this. As we know, we do have some Eagles fans in our neck of the woods who listen to us. So let's go through this. We'll bounce it off each other's. I'm going to go team by team. I'm going to talk to you about some of the key additions, some of the key subtractions. You tell me where you think their record's going to end up this year. All right?
Do you want me? We could either do this then or for a different episode where we could take before the season starts. We go through the whole schedule. We each give a record, and I write it down, and we'll see what happens.
We'll do that. We're going to get a lot more football as we're coming up. But today, I just want to quickly go through the NFC East and just get some ideas on paper on what we thought. Let's start with the Cowboys. Mike McCarthy, the coach. As far as additions, they really brought in safety Keanu Neal. I don't really think any of the other additions they made are newsworthy. They had a good draft with Micah Parsons. I thought he was a really solid pick. The Giants were looking at him. As far as losses, they lost Aldon Smith and Andy Dalton. So if Prescott's shoulder injury, which they went for another MRI today.
Cross your fingers. It's bad.
They say it's not bad. They just say it's a baseball injury, so they're working on it. They say that their offensive line is healthy this year. They say Ezekiel Elliott is healthier than he's been. They have a new coach in the defense, Dan Quinn, who is famous for the Seahawks Legion of Boom. They have linebackers, but it seems like every year their linebackers get hurt. What do you think?
Sean Lee.
Explosive offense for the Cowboys. Let's face it. When Dak Prescott's in, they have 3 unbelievable wide receivers that they can move the ball all over the place. When they're they could score with anybody. That's not their question. Defense was atrocious last year. Can Dan Quinn change it? So Cowboys, Matty, give me their record. Give me where you think they'll finish in the NFC East.
They're
They
an
also have the
interesting
second
story.
easiest schedule in the NFL.
I'm just taking a quick glance before I give you my record for them. I see a lot of losses in here. I see teams like the Cardinals. I see teams like Saints on the road, Chiefs on the road. Those are losses. Patriots on the road. There's no way they win that game. And Buccaneers on the road. I see a lot of losses. I'll go ahead and I'm gonna give you. I'll give you 10-7 with the with the Cowboys this year. That's me being nice. 10-7's a nice record for them.
I'm gonna go 9-8 for the Cowboys. Don't make the playoffs.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't. I think the NFC West is too strong, even though they'll beat each other up. I think only one team out of the NFC East is going to make it. I don't think it's going to be the Cowboys. I'm also hugely biased, so you know who I'm going to pick to do that.
Well, the Giants, on paper, the Giants should be winning the division.
Giants over-under from Vegas is 7 wins. I love them taking the over.
That is ridiculous.
I agree with
7 wins. They have a very easy schedule.
Let's stay on target. Let's move to the next team here. Washington Redskins, Coach Ron Rivera. Everyone loves Coach Ron Rivera.
I'm not afraid of them.
You're a Carolina guy. I don't recall Carolina making the playoffs too many times under Ron Rivera. He had one streak where he got to the Super Bowl. Outside of that, it's been mostly missed playoff runs. I think he's a good leader of men and get people on the same page. I don't know if he's a great football coach. The Redskins, I think their biggest addition is Ryan Fitzpatrick, who's never been in the playoffs. But he does. What I think is good about Ryan Fitzpatrick is he's going to work well with. They added explosive offensive players. You know, Curtis Samuel on the offense. They already had explosive receivers. I think their offense has. I think they have a solid running game. They could score a lot of points on a team that is expected to be defensively strong. You know, Alex Smith walks away. Ronald Darby walks away. Ryan Kerrigan walks away. Morgan Moses on the right tackle walks away. So I think their offense is going to be up and down all year with Fitzmagic. You know, teams that trick him are going to own him. There's going to be a lot of turnovers and mistakes. I think you clamp down on the run. Terry McLaurin's going to have some big bomb plays because Fitzmagic loves to throw it deep, so they'll get it down the field for him. The Redskins defense is supposed to be great. Chase Young, I've heard people already predicting him with the extra game to beat the sack record. It's still the Redskins, though. I don't think they're that good. Give me your predictions for their season and what you think.
This is arguing for another time, but the Giants do have a better defense than them. Just to make that point
clear.
That.
We're going to talk NFC East the rest of the way till we get.
They only have better. They only have a better D line. They don't have a better secondary or linebacker situation. But that is a song for another time. But I'm not afraid of them. And there's a key word there is that. Well, I've heard them talk a lot the past couple of years. Well, this guy has been good. Well, Kyle Allen's been good, but you don't have a quarterback. Everyone, the NFL knows how to play Ryan Fitzpatrick, and it's not going to be Fitzmagic. It's going to be Fitztragic, and he's in the NFC East. The Eagles' defense is good. The Giants' defense is good, and they're going to see them twice this year. They'll probably beat up on the Cowboys once because they always do that, but the Giants own them. I'm not afraid of them. Okay, their offense is good. Whatever. We have a good defense, but they have McLaurin. They have Curtis Samuel. They have Logan Thomas. Logan Thomas is by far the best offensive player on the team. I don't know why people can't see that.
I think Terry McLaurin's real good. I think him and Fitzmagic are going to make for some explosive plays. And he's also going to throw a pick for every touchdown because he's going to force it into them.
Well, that's what they're saying. They're like with Antonio Gibson and then McKissick. Those guys, they had good years. I want to see it. I want to see it again.
I think you're safe with Gibson if he's good. It's how they block. I think the defense is overrated. They do have a great pass rush. I think
But other than that,
I think their offense is a tiny bit underrated because I think they will throw up points. I just think they'll turn over the ball a lot, and I don't think they could handle in the pressure. For me, the Redskins are a team. I don't even know if it's possible for all these records, but I think they're like an 8-9 team. They're definitely middle of the road. They're gonna.
I actually would agree with that. I do see them in the third place position this year. I mean,
Yeah, I don't think they're a bad team.
Second or third place, but to settle on them, I'm not afraid of them. They're a good team.
No, I don't think anybody is afraid of them. I agree with you.
A lot of inexperience. They don't have a confirmed quarterback.
They're gonna catch people off guard for the teams that aren't afraid of them. For the weeks where you get like a Seattle team who's coming off 2 wins and they got to travel to Washington. I don't even know if they play each other, but I'm making up scenarios. A solid team might forget about them, and they're gonna beat teams. Rivera's teams go for the win too. He doesn't sit back and play.
Riverboat Ron.
Yeah, so I think you're in good shape there. Let's go next to what some of our fans, one of our best fans, down in South Jersey. I don't know if it's his name.
Oh, yeah.
But
I don't know. Might have to talk. He might be bigger on college football this year. He doesn't have that much faith in the Eagles. I've heard.
You heard this from Billy?
Being at the beach, he's big Eagles fan, but we're looking at a lot of big Gamecock stuff this year.
Well, he's also, I think, he's a former college quarterback, and he knows his stuff. So I think he's avoiding this year because he knows. Yeah, he was a quarterback at Westchester and played my University of Delaware. But
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Billy knows a lot about football. He definitely knows his Eagles, but I think he's a realistic man this year where the
big point is they got their title. They're going to wait 10 more years till they get another one. They got their title a couple years ago. Nice.
I don't know. Well, let's go through their team. Let's not just cut it short. New coach, Nick Sirianni, first year. Not many people know too much about him. Not much to say. They got Devonta Smith, who the Giants obviously wanted, and the Eagles traded ahead to grab him for wide receiver. They brought in Ryan Kerrigan. Not too many big deals for Philadelphia. The biggest deal was trading Carson Wentz. Deshaun Jackson gone, Alshon Jeffrey gone. They were both well past their prime. Deshaun Jackson will probably score 3-4 touchdowns for fantasy on the Rams. We'll get into fantasy in an upcoming podcast, as Matty knows. I'm legendary in that. But the Eagles got a lot of news, and the biggest news is new quarterback, new coach. The quarterback they're going with, who I thought was absolutely phenomenal. He was phenomenal in college. Let's face it. Jalen Hurts.
Oh, there's
Alabama.
a big thing there. He was a good quarterback, and he was at a really, really good school with 5-star talent around them. But there's a big difference is everyone wants to bring up, okay, he goes to Oklahoma and becomes in the Heisman conversation. Yes, he was very good at Oklahoma. But a big thing you have to remember is when you're in the SEC compared to the Big 12, SEC almost every single week you play 5-star talent. In the Big 12, all you have is,
the guys are also
not really that good. West Virginia is not really that good.
It's Texas and Oklahoma, and that's why they're
Iowa. Texas and Iowa's sometimes in there. Iowa State sometimes in there.
No, but you also got guys running 10 yards wide open. So for me, looking at the quarterback, is he accurate enough to be a pro? I think he has all the mental capabilities, all the physical capabilities. He's won pressure games. He hasn't choked. He's delivered wherever he's been. But can he be accurate enough in the NFL to succeed? I think they're in for a really bad year.
I think you're going to put all your marbles in Devontae Smith for deep balls. Does Hurts even throw deep balls? And when Smith gets nailed, he's done for 3 games, 4 games because the kid's a stick.
He survived all through Alabama being small. There's plenty of small receivers who have succeeded, but I don't even think.
But he's skinny though. He's small, and
the Eagles' offensive line has been beat up. I just don't see them being able to compete. I think this is a rebuild year. I think it's a young coach got a chance to find out what players work. I think the Eagles are a 3 or 4 win teams.
Oh, that's a little harsh. I'll give them. I'm gonna give them a 7-10 year, and that's
All
being nice. That's being nice. At worst, 6 or 7. I don't. Because they're still not. They're not. They're not a good. They're not a
No,
good team.
I mean,
They're not. They're not Jets level. Like I don't think they're Jets level. Like they have stuff figured out. They're not
that will be fun to go
Jets.
through
Like
the AFC East.
we could go through the whole entire league, but we'll
We'll
finish
go
that
through the
later
league.
on.
We can't get to it tonight.
But we
My
got to
prediction.
finish with the
I'm
big
going to go
blue.
in with 4 wins for the Eagles, which leaves us
That's
with
mean, but
It's not about being mean. I hate Philadelphia. I mean, if I had a choice, I'd have them winless, but I don't have a choice. So I'm trying to be realistic for our audience. Sorry, Billy. I hate the Eagles. He knows.
wait, they just won a Super Bowl, so they shouldn't be crying. They won a Super Bowl a couple years ago.
And that was a lucky one. Let's move on to the Giants. That's what everyone wants to know. Over under Las Vegas, 7 wins.
That is
Every conversation
should be over.
Every conversation is about Daniel Jones' offensive line. People love Patrick Graham on the defense. They think he'll be a head coach next year and he'll be gone from the Giants. Giants secondary with Adoree Jackson, much better. Linebackers, Blake Martinez is good, not solid. Defensive line, they've got a
Lorenzo
lot of
Carter.
Yeah, they got a Zimenez. They got a lot of
Teo or something. Teo.
No, I don't think he's going to be on the team. They got a lot of guys with potential that we haven't seen, but what we did see with the Giants defense is Patrick Graham could do a lot with a little, and they got better. So I expect the defense to stay in the top 10 like they were last year. They were in the top 5 in key categories last year. I think that's a key. We're going to argue over this. I think Daniel Jones is going to have a good year this year. Offensive line, they need to make a trade for some depth. They had 3 guys retire already who are veterans. They can't survive unless they get more depth on the offensive line. We will see who it is. You asking me for the Giants? I'm thinking they win the division. They win it at 10-7. I don't think they make much noise in the playoffs unless they get a matchup that works for them. Their bread and butter is going to be defense and running the ball, and hopefully they could.
If Barkley's not healthy, you have Clement, who I like him a lot.
He looked great, yeah, but he also fumbled for an Eagle.
That's okay.
Yeah. It's
Gallman does it all the time.
Turnovers.
Daniel Jones does it all the time, and no one says anything. So.
Turnovers are the worst part of the league. What do you got for the Giants this year?
Well, wasn't it just beautiful to watch that scrimmage the other day with Daniel Jones throwing an interception right to a defensive player with absolutely no wide receiver around?
Yeah, the wide receiver ran the wrong route. If you would have checked it out.
Oh my God!
If the wide receiver doesn't turn and trip, the guy's wide open. So,
but he's aside from that, we'll have another argument about that later on. He needs to have a good year. I also see 10-7, 11 wins as a push because they're gonna blow games, like they're gonna lose games that they should win. That always happens every year. I see a 9-8, 10-7, and I think they'll be neck and I think they're gonna have the same record as the Cowboys, and I think it's gonna come down to the season series and how they play each other. But I think another big thing with the Giants this year is, yeah, we have the offensive line stuff, but they need to win games that they can win, that they should win. When you have an opening week game against the Denver Broncos at 4:25 in MetLife Stadium, and Denver has the same quarterback scenario, and they're coming from Colorado, you should really win that game. That's a great start to the season to get a win.
They're a good team, Denver.
I would hate to see the Giants lose week 1 because I think that is a crucial game. And it's one of many games that they should win. And
I don't know. I don't know if of course I want them to win, but I think you're underestimating. Denver is a very similar team to the Giants. I think Denver has a great defense. They have a team. They have wide receivers. They're a team that they're waiting on a quarterback. They don't know who their quarterback is, and I think that's where you got to take advantage. Hopefully, Drew Lock starts, and Patrick Graham could trick him into turnovers, and that's the key to the Giants' win. But Denver, if they got a solid quarterback, we're going to be up there. their problem is they're going to be facing the Chiefs, they're in a tough division, and we're going to get to all the divisions before the season kicks off. We're going to get into fantasy a little before it kicks off. Maybe we'll bring in the special Sal Salmon to talk about fantasy, and as we've seen him be an
reigning
expert.
winner.
Yeah. Well, whether
Somehow.
he wins or lose, he feels he knows it. But we'll get going on all that for tonight. We'll break on this. And we'll say Ohtani's the best player in baseball for this season. And
Jacob deGrom is. Gee, he's doing what you're talking about. Sub-1 ERA, which is impossible, and then he's hitting 320.
How many games has he appeared in?
That doesn't matter. This guy comes in, faces 9 hitters in 3 innings, and strikes out 8 people.
Let me preface your argument in another way. Would you rather have 20 games of Jason deGrom or 40 games of Ohtani?
deGrom, because the Yankees would have easily won the AL East already.
That's where you're crazy. But it's the same thing. It's like Aaron Rodgers is a terrific quarterback. If he only plays 4 games of the year and he wins you blow out the teams in the other 4, but you get a Pro Bowl starter who could win you 10 games. That's more valuable to me.
But think about it. If you
starter pitcher places 1 every 5 days, deGrom's been hurt for a while. Ohtani's going out there every day at 2 positions. You're totally.
I want to see when deGrom's a free agent. I'm gonna look it up right now. I want to see the luxury tax threshold or whatever it is gone through the roof for the Yankees, because if they don't win a World Series by the time that's the piece.
That's the piece. See deGrom in the Yankee uniform.
But that's the piece. A player like that would be the piece. 2023.
The Yankees made all the money for Ohtani. He wanted to stay on the West Coast. Cashman offered the most to him. He made all those trades to get there. You're just a little angry, but you're forgetting the fact that the guy plays way more games than a regular starting pitcher.
It's okay. He wants to stay where he can live through earthquakes and tsunamis still. That's fine. He can stay out west. He can stay out west.
Just keep it on. Hey, he's on the West Coast where he's a little soft, and they don't get the same press and stress. But with that, we're gonna leave it. We'll get our
Yankees better win.
We'll come back next week. We're gonna have a lot more football coming. We're gonna go through a bunch of divisions. We'll play it by ear, seeing what the baseball is, if there's any hockey or basketball news. But it's gonna be football and baseball until we get into the September stretch. Matty, good luck with your driver's test. I hope you learned to drive the tractor really well. I love you, and that's where we'll leave it for tonight. I'll see you later, buddy.
And when we see you next time, I better not see Jack Eichel in a Rangers uniform.
Oh, I doubt it.
And that'll be so happen.
I'll see you later.
All right, but till next time, everyone. See ya.